I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Joining me now is Rob Simmelkjaer, CEO of New York Roadrunners. Rob, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, Brittany. I appreciate it.
Of course, before we dive into the conversation, can you explain the mission of New York Roadrunners?
Absolutely. Our mission is to help and inspire people through running. And that really is all about helping people get into the sport of running, helping them to get the most they can out of the sport of running, to stay in the sport of running, and just to kind of accompany them on their journey as runners. People can get so much out of running depending on the way that they want to approach it. It can be something to improve their physical health. It can be something to improve their mental health. It can be something that they do because they want to support a cause. And we've got so many runners who come to our TCS New York City Marathon to support causes. So running can take so many different forms. And our goal is to give those people reasons to run, and then give them races to run and places to run and be with them throughout their entire running journey.
Let's talk a little more about running for a cause. The New York City Marathon is coming up, and it is heavily tied to charity. I, in fact, am running for a cause, Team for Kids, shout out to them. But New York Roadrunners has said it raised $460 million for charity since 2006. That is a ton of money. So what is the history there?
It's a huge part of what the TCS New York City Marathon is all about. The way it works is we give not-for-profit organizations bibs into the marathon. There's a deal with them. They get bibs. They turn around and they have a fundraising threshold that a runner has to meet to earn that bib. So it could be $2,000, $3,000, and these organizations they basically generate, in some cases, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars for their causes by having these runners run with the bibs that they get. And not only do they run for that cause, but in a lot of cases, the organizations will give them training opportunities. I ran my last marathon with a charity called Fred's Team, which benefits Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Hospital. And they were incredible group runs and all kinds of community building around the experience of running for Fred's Team. So we have hundreds of charities, over 500 in fact, that do this at different levels. And through all of that, last year they raised over $55 million. So it's a really big part of the impact that New York Roadrunners and the TCS New York City Marathon have every year.
There are a variety of different charities that are teams for the marathon. So how do you pick what charities are involved?
So the charities go through an application process that we have every single year. They tell us about what it is they do, what their cause is. We want to make sure that they are, of course, real charities, that they're operating the right way, and that they can properly take advantage of the opportunity to get bibs into the marathon. There are different classifications of charities depending on how big they are and how many bibs they're going to get, how much money they want to raise, but they all kind of come through our review process. We have a team that does that, and we decide which charities make sense to be in this program. And then a lot of the charities come back year after year after year. Sometimes they'll get more and more bibs as they go, as they learn how to properly speak to runners, how to recruit runners, how to help runners have a great experience. So there'll be some charities that have in the low single digits, and then some charities that have in hundreds of bibs. So there's a pretty wide range of not-for-profits that we work with.
Official charity partners are divided in 3 categories. There is gold, silver, and bronze level partners. So how do you categorize each of these?
Yeah, really it comes down to the size of the organization and how much they're looking to raise. And each of those levels also comes with different financials, right? The not-for-profit does pay Roadrunners for the bib, and then they turn around and they raise money. And the bigger numbers, the higher up that chain, the bigger the fundraising number typically is that they're trying to raise. So it really just comes down to how big they are, how well we know them is part of it as well, right? And do we know that they have the ability to successfully, market and fill the number of bibs that they get? We wouldn't start a new charity, say, at 300 bibs, because we just don't know if they're going to be able to reach that many runners. So we let each organization start small and then work their way up. so that we see that they're doing a good job, that they're giving runners a good experience, and that they are maximizing the impact of each entry that we give them, because that's really what we care about at the end of the day with those charity entries is, are they successfully raising money? Are there runners out there doing the work? Because the runners have to do a lot of work. I did this when I was running for Fred's team. They have to go and send emails to their friends and colleagues and get people to sponsor them. We don't really want folks who just write a check, right? That's not really what we want. We don't want runners who don't actually go out and do the work and fundraise. We want them to actually, spread the word about their running, raise money from friends and family. Ideally, that's what all the runners would do. So we, see how each organization does every year, and then we go from there.